I've heard this story many times, and you may have heard it too. It's said that if you put a frog into very hot water, it will automatically jump out to protect itself. But if you put a frog in cold water and gradually heat the water to a dangerous temperature, the frog will stay in the water till it dies. Now, that is totally false and inaccurate. Frogs are cold-blooded creatures and sense the slightest changes in temperature. And frogs will do whatever it takes to maintain a safe temperature. But I've heard numbers of people use that example to make a point about human nature. Namely, that people will do something about painful, irritating situations if they happen suddenly. But they're apt to passively endure those same situations if they slowly increase over time. Now, every person and every situation is different, but this seems to pan out in my experience, at least. Now, since it resonates with our experience as human beings, that may be why we would think it would be the same with frogs, and we maintain that myth. Now, irritation by definition is unpleasant. Nobody really likes it, but it is a part of life's puzzle that we have to deal with somehow. People irritate us. Certain situations irritate us. We even irritate ourselves sometimes. Now, we can simply bemoan and complain about the irritants in our lives. I call that the woe is me approach. Or we can go on the attack and get rid of the irritants, or at least try. But it may not be possible or helpful to get rid of those irritating people, especially if they are in my family, or get rid of ourselves for that matter. And it's impossible to get rid of every irritating situation that comes up. So, what do we do with irritating things? Well, it may seem counterintuitive, but one answer is to treat irritation as a friend instead of as an enemy. Feeling irritated is often a clue that something needs to change. It's kind of like a runner who starts to feel an irritation on the bottom of her foot. It may be a sign that a blister is developing and needs attention before it gets too serious. Or a recurring irritation with your significant other's behavior. It might be an indication that something in the relationship must be changed or addressed before it grows into a relationship ending crisis. In our society, it's common to hear one group's irritation with another group. That often indicates a need to change things in understanding between the two groups, or a change in how the two groups treat each other. To do that before greater relational problems develop. Now, what doesn't work regarding irritation is to totally ignore it, explain it away, or simply hope it goes away. It's like that myth of the frog in hot water. People sometimes simply endure the irritation, convincing themselves that, well, it's not that bad, or it will go away eventually. And sometimes that happens, but the risk is that the irritation will grow unchecked until it becomes a major problem. Many people who remain in abusive relationships, despite the pain and irritation, do this. Now, a lot of times, irritation shows that something needs to change within us, rather than something needing to change in our situation or environment. For example, I may feel irritated with myself when I make a mistake, or feel irritated with another person when they make a mistake. That irritation can be a messenger telling me that I need to grow in my acceptance of error as part and parcel of us human beings. A change is needed inside me rather than out there. It's the same thing when I feel irritated with another person or another religion or another culture when they do things differently than I do. That irritation is probably telling me that I need to adjust my understanding of others, or loosen my rigid thinking that there's only one way to do things. It's much easier to pin the source of our irritation on others, blame them, and demand that they change, rather than considering that the irritation may be calling me to make some changes within. That's what happened. That's where most divisions, fights, and wars come from when we do that. Look at irritation in that way. Now, of course, it would be nice if there weren't irritations in life, in a way. But if that were the case, there probably would be less motivation for us to develop, to move, and grow as human beings. Irritating things keep us from getting too comfortable and too complacent. And they nudge us to take each step forward and in finding better ways to deal with life. The challenge is to resist the urge to treat irritations as unwanted visitors, and instead treat them as valuable messengers. If we did that a little bit more, life would be less irritating and more pleasant.